Off the top at 6, are Florida voters being told the truth tonight by the leading Democratic candidate in the race for U.S. Senate, where Jeff Greene has been confronted with accusations that he took his yacht on an illegal trip to Cuba. He had one answer yesterday, a different version today, and now we are hearing from someone who was on that boat who says Greene is lying. Local 10's Ron Gelosi is breaking this story tonight.
This was Jeff Greene last night.
And didn't you just take your yacht down to Cuba recently, or is that not true?
No, the yacht went to Cuba.
Oh, the yacht went to Cuba, but you didn't?
No.
This is Jeff Greene today.
As it turns out, there was a Jewish mission that I knew about going on, and we had a chance to go visit some of the Jewish synagogues and community in Cuba.
It's a touchy subject because it's illegal for Americans with no family in Cuba to visit the island. During last night's debate, Jeff Greene was clearly rattled when asked about his alleged 2007 visit to the communist island aboard his mega yacht, the Summer Wind. The Democratic candidate for Senate denied he visited Cuba on what his opponent, Kendrick Meek, called a party trip.
You know, I don't know if I need to slide my chair over because a bolt of lightning may come in and hit Jeff. Let me just say this real quickly. You're saying that you weren't on your yacht when it went to Cuba, when eyewitnesses said that you were on the yacht?
No, I went to Cuba years ago on a Jewish mission to Cuba, yes, to the Jewish community.
Today, speaking to a reporter in Tallahassee, Greene acknowledged he was in fact on the boat, but said the Cuba visit was actually an emergency stop as they traveled from Honduras to the Bahamas.
Actually, what happened was we had a hydraulics problem, and the captain said, can we stop at Hemingway Marina and fix it? And I said, well, is it legal? And he said, well, as long as you don't spend any money, it's legal to stop there, and otherwise it could be, dangerous.
Greene says he learned there was a Jewish mission taking place in Havana at the same time, so he traveled to visit the city's synagogue and Jewish community. It was a 2 to 3 day stay, he says.
I knew everything that was going on the boat.
But in a stunning interview with Local 10, a deckhand who was working on Greene's yacht at the time says there was no mechanical failure. The trip to Cuba, he says, was a vacation.
We left from Key West and went to Cuba, and they partied all night. One girl actually threw up over the side of the boat.
His name is Billy Blackwell, and he told us on the phone this afternoon that Greene and his girlfriend spent 3 or 4 days touring and shopping on the island.
Well, they came back with bags, and me and the deckhand had to help them bring the baggage on board. Jeff Greene actually had a box of Cuban cigars.
So if Jeff Greene says there was a mechanical problem that caused the boat to stop in Cuba, is he lying?
Yes, he is.
Well, Billy Blackwell did not want to show his face on camera because he says the yachting industry is a very tight-knit community and he doesn't want to do anything to hurt his career. We should also point out that Blackwell stopped working for Greene after Blackwell was hurt on the Summer Wind. In fact, he says a billionaire candidate still owes him $3,500 in medical bills. Well, Greene's campaign responded late today saying, quote, this is completely false, unsubstantiated, and not true. He says there is nothing this crew member said that is remotely true. Consider the circumstances and the timing. People are coming out of the woodwork at the last minute just before the election, end quote. But the truth is, Billy Blackwell didn't come to us. We found him, Lori and Calvin, and he was very reluctant to tell his story.
Okay, Roger, this story is so multi-layered, so we want to bring in now political reporter Michael Putney. And Michael, I know you just got off the phone with the Greene campaign. What did they have to say?
I did, and they repeated some of what Roger just said. They said this is a disgruntled former employee, that he doesn't have any proof, and they say that last night Jeff Greene simply misspoke during that TV debate about Cuba. Today they say he is setting the record straight.
Oh, well, Michael, misspoke is getting a date or name wrong, usually. Right. In this case, he says there was an actual license. He was going on a humanitarian mission to help Jews, Cuban Jews, and now suddenly it's about a distressed boat or a mechanical failure.
There is a huge disparity between what Jeff Greene said last TV and what he is saying today, and really the larger issue here is one of honesty and truthfulness. When you are running for the U.S. Senate, Lori and Calvin, voters want to hear the truth, and it's not clear at this point what is the true story about these trips to Cuba.
And we're not just talking about going to Aruba or St. Bart's. We're talking about Cuba here.
And we should point out that Jeff Greene repeatedly, including in that debate last night, has said he opposes the Castro regime, that we should not do business with Castro, with that regime. And now we have this story about him going out with his wife and another couple and coming back with so many shopping bags that the deckhands had to put them all on board the Summer Wind. So what's the truth here?
What kind of legs is this going to have? What could this do to his campaign?
It could be, really could have a huge impact. The more we find out about it, Jeff Greene will be in Fort Lauderdale tomorrow morning. He says he'll speak with me about this, so I plan to sit down with him. I should tell you that candidate Kendrick Meek, his opponent, issued a statement late this afternoon. Here it is. It says in part, "It is astounding that Jeff Greene would make light of the plight of Cubans and the Jewish community in Cuba who are living under a repressive regime. This episode goes to the very nature of Greene's character and shows his complete disregard for the public trust."
Much more to come on this. No
You
question
better
about it.
believe it.